Ladies and gentlemen, it's over. Volodymyr Zelensky should no longer hope to continue exercising power in Ukraine for much longer. It's finished. His fate has been decided. But the United States of America and Russia, his fate is sealed. His replacement has now been found. The idea that Vladimir Putin recently brought up about establishing a transitional government in Ukraine to facilitate negotiations. Since in Russia's eyes, Zelensky is not credible, since he is not legitimate, since he is not legal. He is neither legal nor legitimate. Russia has therefore insisted. Russia insisted that it will not sign an agreement with an illegitimate and illegal government. It is ready to sign an agreement. But this agreement should be signed with a government that truly represents the Ukrainian people. And to do this, Russia had suggested that this transitional government be established under the auspices of the United Nations. That means recognized by the United Nations, so that the agreement to be made, the ceasefire agreement, the Russian occupied territories that will remain on the Russian side, so that nothing changes. When there is another government, since the state is continuity, so that nothing changes. Donald Trump seems to have understood Vladimir Putin's message. Donald Trump agrees with it. Donald Trump would have, I put it in the conditional, according to very close sources, he would have already negotiated with Putin during their recent phone conversation. They even managed to find the name of the person who meets Moscow's criteria and also meets the criteria of the United States of America in terms of pragmatism, the one who should replace Zelensky as soon as possible. And meanwhile, the Ukrainian Electoral Commission makes an announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening to all of you. You are once again here on the platform of Awakening of Consciousness. In the context of this video conference, this is what we are going to talk about. But I ask you to share as much as possible. Give it a lot of likes. Don't forget to always leave a comment. All those who are not yet subscribed, please subscribe. This allows you to no longer miss international news, well decrypted at 180 degrees. Let's go into the depths, but please be reassured. Have you activated the notification bell? So, according to the unofficial information we receive, because that is in the secrets of God. But you know, no matter what is said, it always leaks. According to unofficial information, the United States of America and Russia are negotiating the creation of a transitional government in Ukraine. Who will lead this transitional government? The name has been found. It is Mr. Azarov. Azarov could be the next leader of Ukraine. And that's happening soon, you know. Because, you know, Vladimir Putin has set his conditions. He wants to negotiate. He wants to sign agreements. He has shown his goodwill. He even proceeded with a prisoner exchange with, not an exchange, but he offered 24 prisoners to Ukraine. No, it wasn't 24. Yes, I believe 24. So, Russia, Vladimir Putin, wants to negotiate, but wants a both serious government. But Donald Trump, at the moment, here's where the problem lies. Donald Trump doesn't need, at the moment, a serious government in Ukraine. He wants this non-serious government in Ukraine to sign his agreement on rare minerals. As soon as Zelensky finishes signing, come on, he will be removed. Yes. As soon as he finishes signing, they will announce the elections even 2 days later. Ukraine has no money, America will finance. So, there is this plan that Donald Trump is working on. Zelensky is not too aware. He doesn't understand, even if he does understand, but he is not. There you go. And you remember, it was Vladimir Putin himself who suggested that there should be a transitional government in Ukraine. He has always described this regime as a mafia regime. Now, what is happening? The United States is negotiating. According to a source from Interbellum News, which is a Western media outlet, during closed-door negotiations between American representatives and Putin, the option of creating a transitional government for Ukraine after the end of the conflict was discussed. They discussed it. The Americans want it to be after the end of the conflict. But for Putin, it is one of the conditions. So, the main candidate for the position of head of the transitional government is the former Prime Minister, Mykola Azarov. According to the information, he is considered a pragmatic choice for Moscow and a temporary compromise for Washington, so he can temporarily satisfy Washington. But he greatly satisfies Moscow, as apparently he has another connection with Moscow. We learned that Azarov is the co-chairman of the People's Unity Club. He is the co-chairman of the People's Unity Club, which is an informal platform supported by Moscow. Through this platform, the consolidation of local elites and the diaspora is possible. Ukrainian diaspora, of course. So, here is obviously the one who was anticipated. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian Electoral Commission makes an announcement. The statement is made by the director of the Central Electoral Commission of Ukraine, Oleg Didenko. He says this. He says, the presidential terms should not be excessively prolonged to avoid any accusations of clinging to power. To avoid any accusations of clinging to power. That's today. He is speaking now. Since Zelensky's term has expired, it will soon be a year. Today, the president, the director of the Central Electoral Commission of Ukraine, is speaking. So what he just said there, he says that the presidential elections should not be too prolonged. That's one. So Oleg Didenko, director of the Central Electoral Commission, he says this. He says, it is difficult to determine the exact timelines, but the presidential elections should not be prolonged. So, these two messages sufficiently prove that for Zelensky, it's over. Externally, he is being pressured. God only knows, isn't it America supporting the director of the Electoral Commission to tell him, you need to do this, this, this. And if this director of the Ukrainian Electoral Commission speaks like this, it's to instill in the Ukrainians' minds that they need to go to the elections. He himself says, to avoid accusations of attempting to stay in power. So, it's very soon. And if the election is organized, there you go. If the election is organized, Zelensky won't even pass, even if he is a candidate. So, ladies and gentlemen, here is the headline of the news. Here is the situation concerning Volodymyr Zelensky. Thank you for sharing it as much as possible. I will be back with you shortly by the grace of the Almighty, with new updates. This was the voice of your one and only samurai.